Galway, like you would have thought before the league, Tipperary and Galway is possibly, this is the chase and pack. This is the couple of bridesmaids here that are looking to see who's even chief bridesmaid behind Limerick at the moment. But Galway have done what Tipperary haven't been able to do in league or championship in the last couple of years, and put it up to Limerick and beat them by 6 points, holding them to 117. Like 18 scores for that Limerick team. I don't care who they're starting. They obviously did try out a couple of younger players, as you're saying, very talented players. But like that's a statement of intent.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. They went, as I said, they went toe to toe with Limerick. Nobody has really gone toe to toe with them in recent years. They've all tried different things. Limerick or Galway went toe to toe with them, and in fairness, they were able to match them. And in many areas, they were able to overpower them. There weren't too many Limerick guys that came away having won their battle the other day. So Galway have laid some foundations for later on in the year. And just even to see, like, I'm not sure we'll go into the Limerick Waterford thing now, just to see John Kiely even been, unnerved, I would say, and unnerved enough maybe to come out with the comments that he came out with after. And I believe Dermot Burns has gotten a one-match ban as well for his kind of incident with Jason Flynn after the ball. So all of a sudden, Limerick don't look so unbeatable anymore. So I wonder, has they given Sheedy and Tip in particular a good bit of hope, along with the hope that that they got a good result against Limerick first time out. So it's funny, like the narrative and the story can change very, very quickly based on a result. But it wasn't the 6 points by Galway. That was comprehensive. They won most of the positions on the field. And I think that'll give them great heart going forward.
Yeah, like if it only takes a spark to get your season going, maybe sometimes it only takes the negativity of one or two bad results, or even Dermot Burns getting a suspension, or John Kiely coming out talking about simulation from Galway, and there was throughout the game there seems to be a nice bit of niggle going on between John Kiely and Shane O'Neill with reference to the simulation. Now look, everyone has kind of made up at this stage, and John Kiely issued a retraction.
Have they though? Have they though, really?
Look, I mean, on the face of it, this is the optics. And I just, Kiely came out and talked about the simulation, all that, and he was quite upset. And obviously the officiating of the game, the rules being brought in more so than the officiating of that particular game. But what he said in relation to talking about simulation was, at the time I was of the opinion that I had seen an incident that I wasn't happy with. It was late in the game and very much to the forefront of my thoughts after the game. But over the last 2 days, I've been going through the video footage of the game and I've had a very clear sight of those incidents I referred to. The bottom line is that what I thought I had seen was absolutely not the case. I wish to wholeheartedly retract those comments with regard to Galway and apologise for them. It's important that I set the record straight now that I'm certain that what I saw was not what I believed what I had seen. Now, are you buying that?
Well, I tell you what, in fairness to John Kiely, how many times has a manager been asked, did you see this incident or see that incident? Oh, I didn't see it, didn't have clear sight of it. In fairness to him, he fairly said that he's, whatever he thought he saw, he fairly gave his opinions on it. It was funny when the comments came out, I was thinking, Jesus, brilliant. This is a nice bit of needle. There was a bit of needle in the game on Sunday. There's a narrative going around Galway. I was chatting to Cyril Farrell the other day, and he was saying that there was talk around Galway that Galway were bullied by Limerick in last year's semi-final, and there was no way that they were going to let that happen the last day. So there was a nice bit of needle between them. All of a sudden, a manager sees something or perceives to see something. We're the vultures that we are. We interviewed him straight after, right in the heat of the moment, and he comes out with those comments. On reflection, he retracts those statements. I kind of loved the statements because I didn't think they were necessarily true, and far from it. But it's just that it creates more needle between them. It's the sort of thing that would be pasted on a dressing room wall. He's retracted his statements. I still think, like, the Galway lads are going to think that he thinks there's a fair degree of truth to them, and that will still be motivation for later on in the year. But yeah, I can't wait for the two of them to play each other again, to be honest.
Yeah, and from what I hear from journalists who were at the game, it wasn't just that this was a once-off thing, that there was complaints about the perception that Galway players were taking a flop during the game. This is, to my mind, this is something that's a recurring topic within the Limerick dressing room, and that they had sort of targeted that if any perceived simulation goes on, we're going to make a big deal out of it. And at the very least, what has happened here, and you can apologise and paper over the cracks and all that kind of stuff, the point has been now made that Galway are divers or simulators, so that with the hope being that in the next game that they won't get quite as many frees. So the damage is already done, or you've already kind of marked the referee's card. Whoever's going to be the referee the next time, watch out for Galway diving. So you know what? You do, and then you apologise later. So I think the point has been made.
Yeah, I think he's potentially sowing seeds in referees' heads, and if there's a 50-50 call, did he go down a little bit easier, did he not? That potentially the referee mightn't blow, and who knows where that could end up later on in the year. Are Kiely's comments somewhat similar to something that Brian Cody would have made maybe if he was really venting fury over something that he didn't like over the other years?
When frees are criminal, you remember he said after
there you go. That was
Barry Kelly, wasn't it, after 2014?
Kelly, yeah, but he only came out with those comments after did he only come out with those comments after they won the All-Ireland?
Yeah, a bit like Jim Gavin after they won the All-Ireland one year, didn't he cut loose on the officiating or something?
2013, 2013, when Mayo had a load of frees near the end. Cyril Farrell seemed to think that Cody would have kept his counsel and brought it to training on Tuesday night, rather than maybe making it public. But it's out there now. Whether it'll make a difference remains to be seen, but there's definitely going to be a massive spotlight on them. We raised, we put, Limerick's tackling under the microscope last year, and that is still there. They do make a referee make a decision nearly every time they tackle. Like, it's always hands. You see Will O'Donoghue, who we're both a great admirer of, the hurl is always like that when he's going after someone. There's always kind of little touches. So it'd be interesting to see whether Limerick, pull the reins in on that a small bit, and whether they reduce.
And got an unbelievably harsh second yellow card to get sent off as well. I think there's a lot of that going on, where teams are kind of risky enough with the hurley coming across. When it works and you do flick the ball away, it looks great. When you don't, it can look a little bit disastrous.
Especially now, Shane, if there's noise, you're generally good. You're goosed, it's a yellow and a free at least.